Edo State Governor Monday Okpebholo has issued a fiery warning to Labour Party's Peter Obi, insisting that any future visits to Edo must receive prior clearance from his office. Speaking at a defection rally in Uromi, the governor claimed he could no longer guarantee Obi's safety if he entered the state unannounced, referencing the Labour Party leader's recent 15 million naira donation and linking his presence to unrest in Benin City. Governor Okpebholo ridiculed Obi's image of modesty, questioning how someone who claimed to have no shishi could afford such a donation. He warned that Obi would be held responsible for anything that happened to him and the state henceforth, declaring himself the new sheriff in town. The statement sparked cheers from the APC crowd celebrating the defection of former PDP lawmaker Marcus Onobum. Onobum, who represented Esan Central, Esan West, Iweben Federal Constituency, said his return to APC was based on alignment with Esan governorship project and Okpebholo's performance. The governor boasted that Edo was now under total control of APC and projected 2.5 million votes for President Tinubu in 2027, vowing to bury the opposition completely by the next general election. Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu, what do you make of this statement by Okpebholo?
Laurentia, I thank you that you brought this particular story, not when we are, racing for time, because this kind of statement is what we need to deal with decisively. Governor of Edo State, as the statement is uncalled for, the statement is made out of a mind that is jittery. The statement is classified as a hate speech. The Constitution of Nigeria guarantees a Nigerian. When I was in overseas, I move about with my passport. And if you don't move about with your passport, you photocopy your visa page and you have a copy of it, and you move around in case the immigration or the police accosted you on the way. You present it and you are allowed to go. So, but what makes me a Nigerian is I don't need to carry my Nigerian or ECOWAS passport around. And the Nigerian Constitution guarantees that we have freedom of association, freedom of where we decide to reside, freedom of speech, and freedom of belonging to any association or visit. So we don't need to have police extracts before we go to any place. But be that as it may, the governor of Edo State, whom prior to election have not been known for a man of eloquent speech, a man of so much speech, and he's not one of the orators and the charismatic politicians we know in Nigeria. Even when he was in the Senate, he was so docile and quiet. But it's also good because if a child is growing, the child learn how to talk with some objects, or maybe the auntie's name or the mother's name. So kudos to Okpebholo, because he's now using P2B to learn how to talk. And it's unfortunate that it is someone like P2B that he will use as his first speech after being impaired in speech for a very long time. I didn't hear him when during the campaigns. I didn't hear him even when he went to meet with the president. I didn't even hear him. You had, I think he was a person that couldn't even pronounce the amount in the budget presented to him. So he is the person that couldn't mention the name and the figures that were given him for a state budget, a state that he has said that he's the new sheriff in town. It is very unfortunate. It is very unfortunate that P2B has become, their dumping site in the Nigerian politics. He did not ask questions. that in 2023, the former governor of Edo State, the one he succeeded, literally had to beg, you know, for the Edo people to vote Atiku, whom he supported during the 2020 general elections, and for even the former Edo State governor, Ifeanyi Okowa, had to literally beg before his daughter won the House of Assembly in Delta State. So he don't know that Edo State is even
former Edo State governor Ifeanyi Okowa.
Former Delta. I said Delta State.
Okay. Former
Delta State governor Ifeanyi Okowa literally pleaded with the youths for his daughter to even win the House of Assembly seat in Delta State, and Okpebholo should be refreshed his mind in order to note that Edo State is even the heartbeat of the obedient movement in South. He should also go and check his records with INEC, how Obi won Edo State. And I don't think that Edo State has produced 2.5 million votes since the inception of democracy in Nigeria. Edo State have not produced 2.5 million votes for the president to use in winning an election there. So I don't really blame him, because they speak to please their paymasters. And it is not far from what happened in Kebbi State, where the 25 lawmakers bought 25 vehicles in support of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for 2027 general election, where their citizens are wallowing in abject poverty, and the out of school children is increasing, and poverty is written in their economy. What they will do tomorrow when they want to start campaign is to build mosque and marry people and engage people into marriage. That is their dividend of democracy they give to their people. So Okpebholo statement is taken out of context, because Peter Obi has been a philanthropist. Peter Obi, in his nature, has always given donation to schools and churches. That is where his philanthropism has taken him. Peter Obi is a man who has not denied that he's among the bourgeois or the rich in Nigeria. But you remember the response he gave to FCT Minister Nyesom Wike last month, when Nyesom Wike said that they went to visit one politician who claims that he don't have money, but the kind of wine he served them is an expensive wine. But Peter Obi came out and said, I have not said that I don't classify myself as being poor, but I have lived a modest life. Peter Obi lives a modest lifestyle. Peter Obi is not to be, even if Peter Obi, like his children, one of his daughter is a teacher, the other one is doing his own work. Peter Obi is not somebody that you can classify in the, even if taking away his business interest, Peter Obi cannot beg for food or be classified as a poor man in Nigeria until his lifetime ends. So for him to say Peter Obi cannot afford to come, that he donated money, Peter Obi say, I don't spend money unnecessarily. That is why he questioned PDP. Remember where this share of a thing is coming from. When PDP paid their expression of interest form for presidential candidates at a high price, he said, I cannot cough up this money and go and pick a paper in order to express my interest to serve. People should get that correctly. Peter Obi didn't say if there is a form to be purchased, maybe how a political party could help in building the party's space. It is not against his will.
The Shishi statement is not coming from that. However, when that was a mantra of the obedience during the 2023 election campaign.
No, they don't give bribe.
Hold on. When they said, we know they pay shishi.
They don't give bribe.
They give shishi. So if you're voting for Peter Obi, it has to be an organic vote. It has to be a vote that comes from your heart. You have to vote for him willingly. That they are not going to indulge in vote buying. That was where that slogan, I know they give shishi,
Laurentia, let
came
me
from.
see.
But
Laurentia, I've been a political watcher.
Hold on. It's not about being a political watcher. When you are giving, if you're saying somebody said something or you're giving the history, give the accurate history so people don't run with that. Because, I mean, moving forward, the crux of the matter here is the statement by Okpebholo. Now, the concern will be, is it to be a threat to the opposition as it stands? Not even the opposition now, the ruling party. It's fit to be a threat to the ruling party. Now, in Benue State, something similar happened not too long ago, where Reverend Hyacinth Alia came out to condemn the visit of Peter Obi and also barred him from entering Benue State to visit the people that were affected. Yes, the people that were affected by the killings in Benue State, and they were displaced. So he barred him and told him not to come to Benue State. Now, few weeks down the line, Edo State governor has come out to say the same thing. And one would say Okpebholo threatened Obi when he said, I cannot guarantee your security. That's on one hand. On the other hand, now I've asked questions around, is Obi a threat to the ruling party? Now, on the other hand, freedom of association, freedom of movement. Would you say that this statement by Okpebholo, Governor Okpebholo of Edo State, and the action of Reverend Father Hyacinth Alia of Benue State infringed on Obi's fundamental human rights as a Nigerian citizen?
Laurentia, you see, the statement I made about where they got the rhetoric of Obi not giving shishi, they have been taunted, or they have been taunting Obi with him not being able to pay or not willing to cough out money to pay for expression of interest form in political parties. And also, even recently, I've forgotten the man's name, who said that Obi is leaving the coalition because he will not be able to buy the form. He doesn't want to contest with other aspirants, that Obi want to go to a political party where he'll be given the latitude of having a free hand in being the single or the consensus candidate of the party for presidential election. But that is not, to my knowledge, that is not true, because Peter Obi frowns at, we know what happens in party primaries, where delegates are being paid off, where the highest bidder gets it at the end of the day, and that is what P2B detects. That money that should be channeled into, appropriate quarters are being, misdirected, and that is from where Okpebholo. It's not about the Obi people saying they don't play. I'm talking about where Okpebholo is drawing this rhetorics that he's painted now. Is because since after P2B left PDP, because of that, citing that example of not being able to cough out money and pay for mere expression of interest form for social amount, they have used it against Obi over time. And that is where
that Obi left PDP.
Yes, because of that, of the high price.
The high price of
yes,
the form.
of the form. That is why Obi, in the build up to that 2023 elections. So then, for what the governor of Edo State have done and what Father Alea have done, it is simply telling you that Obi is a political threat to the opposition. Obi is a political threat to the, because whether Peter Obi goes to Edo State or Benue State or not, the love the people have for him did not diminish. Instead, those people in the opposition and those people threatening Obi now are only helping in building him. Because look at the case of Nnamdi Kanu, that the federal government proscribed IPOB and incarcerated Nnamdi Kanu. Has it whittled down the popularity of Nnamdi Kanu? The answer is no. Even when Buhari wanted to arrest Nnamdi Kanu, at the end of the day, what Obasanjo told you, you have ended up making him a hero. There are some chastising or some banter you want to throw at somebody, you are simply making the person, just like what do you call it, Reno Mokre has taken it upon himself to demean Obi. But at the end of the day, what is he doing? He's even popularizing him the more. Because none of the Nigerian traditional politicians today will say anything without mentioning Peter Obi. When they mention Peter Obi, they're in the news. Just like in River State, when it was happening, I told you that if they don't mention Nyesom Wike in anything they say, the people that are against him is saying, those rhetorics will not fly. It will not get the headline. But immediately you mention Nyesom Wike, it comes to the fore. It becomes a headline. So Peter Obi, whether he goes to Edo State or whether he does not remove anything for his personality. But what I'm saying is that the governor of the state did not tell us here that Obi constitutes a security risk, that there has been an investigation launched that indicted Obi, that Peter Obi has been, it has come from any security agencies linking Peter Obi to any eventual threat or immediate threat to the peace and stability of the administration of Okpebholo in Edo State. So if you cannot, get that at your table as a defense or as a yardstick for you to come and make such a statement, where did you get the nerves? And the truth to be told, Laurentia, if they are all throwing this tantrum on Obi because he is an Igbo man, see, Okpebholo cannot say this thing of any person from the north or from the Yoruba nation, because he's Obi and we are so docile about the personality of the people. Because as far as I'm concerned, not that I'm an Igbo man, any person from the southeast should be proud of what the inroot Obi has made in the Nigerian political setting after the civil war. Peter Obi, even when they let Azikiwe contested the election, I don't think he made such a wave. Obi has been the person now that is appealing across religious and the national divide, cultural divide in Nigeria, as far as any Igbo man, living or dead, has made in Nigeria after the civil war. Peter Obi has been that person who is coming up to erase that anathema, that negativity that people had about the Igbo man since after the civil war. And they are doing everything possible to make sure that they pull Peter Obi down. And it is not going to work, because Peter Obi have not constituted any security risk. Peter Obi has not constituted any nuisance or has gone to any place. Okay, he said that 3 people died after Obi left the donation. Has any security investigation, has any investigation linked the people that died? Even in River State and other states that have enacted the anti-grazing law, have they been able to stop headers from entering their state? Even him that the headers are busy killing people. There's been armed robbing. There have been one form of insecurity or the other. There have been armed robbing in his state. Has he been able to nick it in the bud? Can he, the governor of Edo State, come out and make a statement that I don't want headers in my state, and mention specific states in Nigeria and say they should not enter his state and graze? See, Laurentia, whether you like it or yes, I'm saying it on national television that it is because Peter Obi is an Igbo man, and they can do and say anything about him, and the security agencies have not instituted an investigation to find out whether what the governor. I
think you're being ethnic about this. Somehow may rub off the wrong way, saying that it is because Peter Obi is an Igbo man.
He cannot say this thing of Atiku Abubakar.
Hold on. When you say because Peter Obi is an Igbo man, that is stirring ethnic bias, and I feel it's insightful and probably not right. If you're looking at this from a political perspective, Atiku right now might not necessarily be the threat they are looking at. but Peter Obi.
Yes.
In the sense that there are agitations that the 4 remaining years should still be zoned to the south. Atiku is from the north. So if you are looking at it from that perspective, Obi is from the south. The current president is from the south. So if there is any threat, if we are to go by the reason of the zoning agitation, Atiku is not the threat here.
Obi is a
but
political
P2P.
threat.
So that's why I
I've
asked
said
you.
it.
But when you are now bringing in ethnicity, one would say, how fair is that statement? That's on one hand. Now, you said again, Obi resigned because presidential tickets in PDP was high. That was incorrect. Obi resigned on the 24th day of May 2022. And the reason he resigned, he said, recent developments in the party. It's very important to know that as at the time Obi resigned, the month before Obi resigned, that was in April, some organizations had come together and bought presidential ticket form of 40 million naira for Obi in April of 2022. Let's settle that.
Okay.
So presidential form was not a problem for Obi. It was already taken care of by some group of, yes, it was already taken care of. Let's settle that, because that again is that information I said you have to be very sure. However, when Obi resigned and much later granted interview, he cited, these are the reasons he cited: massive bribing of delegates and vote buying during primaries. PDP primaries. And he also talked about collaboration of, he talked about a rising clique that collaborated against him. These were the reasons he gave. At no point did Peter Obi ever come out to say he resigned from PDP because of the cost of presidential form. A form was bought a month before he even resigned. He didn't need to even buy the form. You understand?
Yes.
Recall again, during that period, that the presidential ticket was even released, the presidential form was released late and attracted a lot of criticism nationwide, especially by Ohaneze Ndigbo, who was routing for Peter Obi at that time. I just needed to make this clarification because of people that are watching us.
Yes.
We pride ourselves on giving in-depth analysis and also saying the truth and laying facts on the table all the time. You call this place the table of truth.
Yes, so that's the table of truth.
We need to, you know,
and you know, but Obi has also, you know, why I flew with it is Obi has made mention of the higher cost of buying expression of interest from in political parties.
Now he presented the proposal to ADC that he wants to run for single term. So if ADC decides to peg it at let's say 50 million naira, you think that it can be, that form can be bought?
By all calculations, if you see that the cost is clear for him, devoid of this bribing of those delegates. Say
it has never been about the price of the presidential form. All right, very well.
And that is why I said even Obi, in trying to correct some narratives about him, because of his docile nature and his personality, have also said that he is not a poor man. That he chose to live a modest lifestyle does not mean that he is not a rich man.
You're right, very well.
I think that will also collaborate that he can afford any presidential form.
Was never a problem at that time.